So, welcome to the. We don't even have a name for this podcast, but
Nope, we do not.
the Blue and Johnson Young podcast, I guess, is what we'll go with for now.
Yes.
Um, Today, for our first installment, our topic is the new case, the Revolution case, and then the espionage capsule. We'll also get into a little bit. First, we're just gonna talk about the case itself, the skins inside, how we feel about it all, and stuff like that. So let's just kind of start with. Do you want to just go through every kind of skin in that case?
Yes, I'm just really curious about the whole idea of like I want to see what exactly CS:GO was even going for the case itself.
See, it's because people have been calling it the anime case. And I do understand why. There's a lot of anime. There's a lot of Japanese inspired skins, but I really, there's just like a kind of color theme, if I'm gonna say anything. Like it's all very bright colors as soon as you get out of like the bottom four blues, like the Fragments, Featherweight, Rebel, and Rebuilt. Once you get out of those, it's all colors. And even in like the purples, you have that really nice lime green of the Amphorasaurus or the Neo Queen, which gets really nice. So I think they were going really strongly for a color theme and looking for that craftability on skins.
hmm The
Uh,
only thing I'm really seeing with the case itself is that I'm feeling that even though I know it's a little late for it, I was feeling more towards the Chinese New Year's for it. Just so the
yeah,
idea.
especially would you know what the animal for the Chinese New Year is? Is it a rabbit?
For this year, I do not quite remember.
Yeah,
Even though
Chinese. I am not sure. Um, Let me check. I'm looking it up right now. It is indeed the year of the rabbit, and there is the umbral, blanking on the name, the umbral rabbit. Actually, it's the umbral rabbit,
hmm
which there's definitely a pretty sizable connection there. I guess you could say, like, it's definitely a skin that relates to that. I do think that skin will be pretty darn popular because it's one of the few like pure artwork Glocks that we have, up there with like the Bullet Queen and the Neo Noir. It's like, and it's only a purple. Like
yes.
that's a big thing about this case is the purples are crazy. Like the purples are amazing in this case, which is great for accessibility because I know a lot of the good skins and cases in the past couple that we've got have all been reds or pinks, but which makes it not as accessible to a lot of the people who would be buying these kind of skins because not everybody has $400 to drop on a skin. I personally don't even have like 40 to drop on a lot of skins. So
No, I
seeing a lot of
completely
really nice
understand.
purple skins is actually really cool. And then even skins like the banana cannon, that's not going to see much use, but it's already become super iconic just because the shape of the gun is a banana. And I'm assuming he's the person who made it is not the first one to come up with that idea, but he's the first one to execute it in such a great way. And I think it was Dallas Cowboy I saw. It was 4X Copenhagen Wolves stickers on it, and it looked absolutely crazy. I imagine that craft will exist quite a few times, but actually it's probably a 5X. It's a all right, my bad on that one, but it was a crazy. That's one of my favorite skins of the case.
No, you're completely right. I saw the tweet myself. I definitely think there's just generally with this whole case itself, there's a lot of crafts that can be made from just going from cheap to expensive. It's quite crazy because like, when we think about CS:GO and like how they release cases, we always expect like not to be over like it's more like in the sense like not underwhelming, but kind of like we don't want to overreact to it. We want to be able to be like, okay, so this is the reason why they dropped this case with these maybe not so great skins that may not be liked from the community.
Hmm.
So it's like it's definitely a different experience.
Yeah,
From
and I think they did a big kind of almost flip flop on what people think of when they think of a craftable like skin. Because normally, like craftable skins would be things like the slate, like the red line, like the print streams. Like it's a very basic skin without much flavor to it that people just kind of put any sticker on.
you're 100% right. So now with this like new case, we're talking about even even with the new A1S, I've seen literally so many crafts for this already. It's insane.
I saw an MLG Columbus Hollow flip side that was amazing on it. And I am just going to point out in chat, Dexio, we are going to be getting to the actual drama just here in a second, but we're just going to start off with our opinions just on the case because we want to be a little bit positive throughout.
Yes, and not just that, from the experience that, like, not even the experience, but from watching OniPixel's stream and hearing it from the M4A4 artist himself, he definitely seems, really, what's the word, genuine. He seems very genuine on what he was saying. Obviously, it may have some truth to it, to what he was saying, or some, just the way he was saying it does seem kind of off, but I feel like he didn't really mean to, I feel like he just thought it was right to him. That's all. Because at the point of view I think that we're trying to get across is that everybody has their own opinion on inspiration. Some people think maybe copying a pose is not tracing.
Yeah.
And then some people think it's like you should be able to just take it from just the head.
Yeah.
From just looking at something and that's it.
And we'll get very in depth on all the copying and theft and all that in a couple of minutes, but I will say on the M4saurus, obviously we can point exactly to what it's inspired by, Jurassic Park, and if we want to go even more specific, the car from Jurassic Park. But I think the thing that makes this one so good is you can look at it and see what it's inspired by, but also if you could look at thousands, maybe millions of things about Jurassic Park and never see this exact design anywhere. Anything that looks exactly like this. Obviously, there's not going to be too many people making a gun that looks like Jurassic Park out there, but even with that, like, this design is just really, really cool. The colors are really, really nice. It's a very nice skin that is obviously inspired, but doesn't copy anything.
Exactly.
Even the coloring is different and the patterns are different. So that is an example of inspiration where inspiration is good. We'll get into the red M4, the Tumakao, or however you pronounce it. Sorry, I do not speak Japanese. And we'll also get into the Doodle lore in a bit. But I want to talk about my biggest disappointment of the case, and that's the P2000. It's a great skin, don't get me wrong. It looks really, really nice. But I just really wanted a pearlescent effect on it. If I'm going to be honest, I think if it had that pearlescent, it'd be amazing. And I think if we're out here, putting the M4saurus as a purple, the P2000 Wicked Sick should be a blue. It's not on the same level, I think, as basically all the purples even.
I 100% believe you. This is definitely like, it seems like it was kind of drawn up within, not even like, it felt like it was just made in a day. Yeah,
I wouldn't even say that. It's a very nice skin. Like, I actually enjoy the skin a lot. It will not surprise me if this becomes a P2000 I own, because it's a very nice looking skin. I'd say just based on the patterning and everything, it did not just take a day, but no, it's just I don't think it's properly ranked in the case. And I say disappointment, only because I feel like I'm not disappointed by it. I'm disappointed by its ranking of things, I guess.
Definitely understandable.
All right, now to get off of that negative note, let's go into our favorite skin from the case. I'm gonna let you start on this one.
Ooh,
It's a hard one.
If I had to pick one from my favorite, I haven't even got a chance to look at all of them yet. So it's just been ever since I got hit with the whole, like, the controversial, because it was kind of crazy to me, because it was kind of like I woke up and I checked Twitter and that's the first thing I see popping up. It's like, oh my god, like, but I think I'm gonna go with the headshot. The headshot is definitely my favorite, not just because, like, it being on an AK, but just the fact that it's so, I feel like it's a better version of the Slate, of the, not Slate, but the Nightwish. I like the Nightwish, and I even have the skin in game. I like the color of it. I just really wish, from perspective, that it could have been the AK print stream, because I am 100% fan of the print stream. I love every single one. I've pretty much owned all of them, but the only one I have right now is the Deagle. So I'm definitely hoping to get those later on. But it definitely gives a vibe of the print stream to me.
Yeah. I agree the print streams are very nice. I'm happy to see them not put a print stream in this case. I've seen too much print stream. Um, and my favorite of the case may be a little bit more controversial. I am a personal fan of the Umbral Rabbit. I think that is such a nice Glock. I'm not big on super bright colors all the time, so seeing a artwork Glock that isn't the neon yellow of a Bullet Queen or the very deep purples and stuff of a Neo Noir is very nice, and it's just such a clean skin.
No, you
I'm a huge fan.
it's a fantastic skin. And I couldn't even imagine how long it could have took the creator to make this.
Oh my god,
It could took
just
probably months on end to
it's
just give you an
such
idea
a
like
nice
this.
design, and it's just it's so nice. I don't even there's words can't describe how much I love the Umbral Rabbit. It is so nice.
You're 100% right. And I think the best part of all is that like you can just like when you look at the skin itself, it's like the coloring. You can see that like like the background just fits so well with just the rest of the whole image
Yeah,
itself.
it's so well designed, and it's obvious the art was made for the gun, which is
Hmm.
not outwardly common, I guess. Like a lot of like really nice artwork skins, it's obvious a lot of the artwork was, and this is stuff for workshop, not necessarily in the game, but a lot of the artwork skins were art made before that then were just thrown onto something.
100%.
But then things like the neo noir, like I've referenced quite a few times in this, it's so obvious that the art was made specifically for the skin, and it's really nice. Whew.
Like I didn't even notice like with the little you can even see the little bunny at the back of the Glock.
Mm,
But,
like everything's thought of on it, and I appreciate that.
and I just
All
think it's
right.
and I think it's really iconic that it happened to be the year of the bunny for Chinese New Year. So
Yeah,
that
and
is
I think it's awesome. Yeah, Wens, that's a good point. It's a really hard crafting skin. And I've been thinking that too, because I don't have a single skin in my inventory without stickers on it. So I have been thinking what I would put on that, and I think I might leave it naked, which feels so wrong for the inventory I have. Um, I saw a craft on it on Twitter, and I know I did, but I'm not remembering what it was. But I saw it and was like, wow, that's not bad. I think it was Cologne 2014, but I can't remember. If anybody in chat, any of the three of you know, get back to me on that. All right. Well, I think we're gonna go to our next little topic here, which is the sticker capsule. I
yes.
think this has not been getting enough love. Like obviously the case is always going to be the thing people run to look at and stuff, but the sticker capsule is just really nice, and even like that one is just so cool. My favorite of the blues is the little guy, the explosive strength guy, little hand grenade
Hmm.
pulling up the weight. Like he is adorable. Love that guy. Look at him. And I think a big theme throughout this capsule specifically is a lot of pop culture references. Like with him, there's also the aim and fire. They're both in a very old cartoon style. Then there's the fireball, which is a Street Fighter reference. The spectators, which is obviously a reference to CS:GO as well as just watching a movie. Like there's a lot of just pop culture stuff in this, which is really cool. I like that. And
And
then
to be completely honest, Blue, I didn't even get a chance to look at this. So now that like, I'm actually
so
like
this
looking
is
at it,
live reactions of you.
no, yeah, like this is amazing. Like I didn't even notice this one. Literally, like it's wow, like insane.
Yeah,
The
it's
only one,
really nice.
the only one I've been able to get a really good look at is this one because I
It's
saw this one,
so nice.
and then I saw the snowfall,
Oh,
which
the
I
snowfall.
followed the
So
creator
good.
of it on Twitter.
Yes.
I'm really happy for him
Yeah.
because he seemed very happy that someone was able to put it on a gun near, and it's like
Yes.
just like the whole sticker capsule themselves. I feel like after this the 10-year capsule, after I feel like it is what I mean, like it's been just great. They have been so good at what they're doing. They know what they're looking at for stickers, so that's fantastic. And it gives people, like a lot of people chances to look at stickers because not a lot of people know about crafts when you play matchmaking or face it. People always
Hmm.
think about the skins like like the vice gloves, like oh wow the print string, and like the basic stuff, but no one ever thinks about hey maybe getting a craft, maybe getting something that I like. So with these sticker capsules, it gives people a greater opportunity to be like I can
Yeah.
do this.
I always, whenever I see like blue stickers, because blue stickers are always criminally underrated in my opinion. But I always think of that one guy who had the inventory of all like It was all black skins, and he had all these. I think it's called the Speedy T, which is another old style skin, and it's a black and white sticker. And every skin in his inventory had the same stickers, and it was really cool because it was respecting a literal like 10-cent sticker, and it was all super thematic. It was amazing. I really respect people who do that. And then another sticker I'd like to point out as being really, really cool is the Ethereal Gaze, which is one of the foils, and the foil effect on it is really good for a capsule foil, in my opinion. Like you can actually tell in game when it's on a skin that it's a foil, which, as far as I'm concerned, is kind of rare from foils from these things. But just the design of it is it's very usable in my opinion. Like I feel like there's a lot of skins I could see this sticker on and not think that that's just a random craft. Like I would see this sticker on a gun and be like, "Ooh, that your skins." And that's a like big thing that I see a lot of like people they'll have like nice skins, but it's just very basic stuff. And like stickers like the Ethereal Gaze to me scream skins as far as I'm concerned, which is kind of weird, I guess, but
No, it's just crazy because I'm trying to get it like this is definitely a live reaction. I haven't been able to chance to see all these stickers yet, so it's just amazing that now that I'm seeing them, it's like wow, like and in very many props to the artists because it definitely shows that
yes.
they have spent time doing it and spent time looking over. The only thing I've just heard from the whole sticker council is that the explosive strength was not technically stolen, but there was another artist saying that they had made it before them and that theirs got picked. I'm not saying that it was been stolen or anything like that,
Hmm.
but
Huh.
I'm just
Um
I just don't know how I feel about it because I feel like
it's
just the idea of this like
I'd have to see them side by side because an explosive strength being an explosive device or like something exploding with lifting something heavy is not a new idea.
mhm.
Like this is a joke that's been played out for a very, very long time in different ways. And then I'd have to see the one that's said to be being copied to like actually tell. I wish I heard about that beforehand. I would have put that in my list here of things to talk about. But yeah,
If I do
I'll
find it, I'll make sure I put it on
yeah,
stream and I'll
awesome.
make sure I give you a heads up on it.
Yeah, awesome. Appreciate that. Yeah. No, I think a lot of stickers in this capsule are really nice. It's a very nice capsule. I hope that people start looking at that a little bit more because I feel like the case is taking all the credit here for everything. All right, you ready to get a little bit more into the depth here?
Well, I sure am. I'm a little bit nervous because I feel like my opinion may not be as cruel as to some people.
Mhm.
And
Well, that's why we're here. That's why we have our audience here live watching us, making sure they can get their say in and everything. Hopefully they do. Hopefully they go on Twitter and retweet that we're live because they're goaded followers like that. Um, but no, I think we're here to discuss. We're here to have a live discussion about it. So we're gonna first get into the M4 and just see what's known about it, I guess. Um, I'm just gonna start by saying I don't really like anime that much, and I hope that doesn't break anybody's heart. But I'm not a big fan of this to begin with. Like I think it's cool looking. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's not a nice looking skin. I really like the smoke falling down on the mag and how like the smoke's all around and stuff. It's a very Counter Strike themed skin. Um, and then that's just my opinion on the skin. I guess I'll let you give yours first. Let's get
um,
through that first.
I'm definitely a big anime fan, and I definitely yeah. So
I'm like,
when you
wow,
said
polar opposites here.
yeah, but to be honest, I really when I first saw it, I saw it in the workshop when I was watching. Like I said, I was watching Only Pixel stream, and I saw it in the workshop. I think it was a fantastic skin off the bat. I didn't actually think it was gonna get accepted because we already have the Arahara accept, which I thought was gonna be the only skin in the game that would ever have
Yeah.
close to anime, other than the stickers. So it was kind of nice to see in it, but it's just kind of
Mhm.
it really hurts to like know that wow, this is this is a really great skin. Like it has white, blue. I like the colors that affect off each other, and like you
Mhm.
said, the smoke fall and like the CT being a female, and
Yeah.
and nice that being anime. It's nice and having the anime lettering, Counter Strike.
The details are very
Yeah,
nice.
very quite. It just really sucks because you're seeing it and you're like, wow, do I support this? I don't want to. Like,
And I think that is a great segue into us talking about it. And first off, I'm going to go through what is basically confirmed, what is known, just so that if people are watching and don't really or haven't been kept up to date, they'll kind of know a little bit more about what's going on here. So the skin is not necessarily being said to have been an exact copy of anybody else's direct like property or anything. It is the anime girl itself is the thing that a lot of people have taken issue with. And um, actually, I guess we should even take a step further back. The person who made this skin, his name is Forne. I don't know how to pronounce it. Don't know where he's from. Don't speak any language other than English, really. But he's known to have traced and stolen artwork. He has a bunch of different workshop submissions, like his called the Silent Kirote, which is an exact trace of two other artworks that are just overlaid on each other. And then he has another one called the 1D, which I mean, very original name, which is another just anime girl's face thrown over a different body. Like he's known for doing things like this. And I think that's a good preface to get into this before we actually get into depth into what has happened and what is happening now. He in the past has very blatantly and very obviously traced and copied other people's artwork. And this isn't an inspiration. This is a line for line. They're the exact same.
And
But then,
oh, sorry.
yeah, you
I'm
got
sorry.
it.
And I just want to give another take that from what we've been told, and personally from him, he has not drawn any anime characters in the past. This is his first time. Like he said himself that the Dig in the M4NS is the first time he has actually made anime characters. So it's not like he's had a history of drawing anime characters. So it's like that even raises a bigger suspicion of bars of like, wow, it has to be like, you know, stolen.
Yeah. And all right, so there's a couple of things to get into with the actual design itself. First off, this character is not a one-to-one copy from anything whatsoever, and the outfit on it is 100% original art. He drew that outfit, and that outfit's probably the coolest part about it. It's obviously a CT uniform, and that's really cool. But what is being talked about a lot is the pose, which is kind of copied from another piece of art that has been found. Whether it's an exact copy or not is a little bit up for grabs. If you lay them over each other, they are similar but not the same. But that is what comes into the next part. The drawing on the skin came from a pen or a pencil and paper drawing. Like that skin, that's girl that's on that skin came from a drawing that was made by hand that you can see. And it's very obvious the skin stayed pretty darn similar from the like paper drawing to the actual thing. And that paper drawing is what made the new one. But if you look at the pose, it is very, very, very similar. And the face is very similar to the original drawing that has been found. And then the hair is made from a tutorial on drawing hair. So I'm going to be honest, that hair, I'm not worried about that being copied at all because it was made from a piece of art that was made to teach people how to do something. So that is completely fine to me. The pose, it's weird, but also people use pose references all the time. Wes Poole, who's an artist who does a lot of things with making skin renders and stuff, and amazing if you haven't checked him out. He does a lot of very sexual ones though, so if you're not into seeing tits, I wouldn't look at it. But he posted a thing about an anime drawing that he found that he used as a pose reference, and it was a very similar pose to what ended up in his final thing. But it was very transformative. It was a very different thing that he made than the original drawing. And I think this goes into that category. I'm going to let you talk now because I've been going for 3 minutes straight here.
No, no, you're totally fine, Blue. I'm interested too, because, like I said, it just seems very, what's the word, sporadic of how we're now being fed all this information, and it kind of sucks too, because like, it's kind of like a snowball effect. You know, everything's being dropped
Yeah.
on so fast, and then like people are like now searching and looking for information of what to say and what to, you know, like what to believe.
hmm And it's everything's being put under a new form of scrutiny right this second, which is a big thing to look at. Because beforehand, there's been the Griffin, there's been the Howl. Those were the big stolen art things that have happened, and um, it's been years and years and years since the Griffin, years and years and years and years since the Howl. So it's weird to see so many now, and it really makes people put a new pair of glasses on it and look back at previous cases and think, are these skins stolen? Because I guess I shouldn't skip into the next person that we're going to talk about, but there's other artwork, there's other skins that have now been seen to have been inspired by other things that we never knew before that we're just now realized because of this new scrutiny. And I imagine in the coming weeks there's going to be more skins that have been discovered to have been inspired or maybe unfortunately copied from other things. But I'm going to say, legally speaking, the M4. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. The anime M4, the Akabara M4 thing.
Yeah.
I don't think legally there's any issue with it. Everything in it has been pretty or very, very transformative, and the skin itself is a very original idea. So I don't think Valve are going to make any change to the M4, and I don't think they should. I'm going to let you talk on this because I think we might have a little bit of a different opinion on that.
Yeah, kind of different. I think they should probably maybe. I don't think they should necessarily take it out or change it or anything like that, because you are 100% right. It's not 100% stolen. It's not, you know, it's not like he just took one drawing and put it in like the How or like the Griffin. It is technically like bits and pieces put together. So I think the only thing, like, one of the things that I had talked about with my girlfriend when we had first saw the skin is that, as you can tell right here on the character itself, let me go get a better inspect on it, that quite bothered me in her is that you can kind of tell the colors are not exactly the right colors, that I did not like at all. Like, I understand her hair is pink, or I guess kind of purple if you can tell from a different angle, but the background doesn't quite fit with the image itself, which I personally don't have a problem with, but I can understand some people who actually draw.
Yeah, it's just it's a little bit of a composition error from like a professional art standpoint. And I definitely understand that, but I think if you look back at a bunch of skins, you find issues. But yeah, I think this one's a little bit obvious on that kind of thing. But yeah, no, I see what you mean, and like the colors on her jacket and stuff aren't connected anywhere else in the image.
Yeah,
So
like,
yeah, it's a definite compositional error, or not maybe not even error, compositional unawareness from him. All right, how are we feeling? We ready to get into the big drama of the Doodle lore?
yes, I don't even.
You leaking your DMs?
Yeah, accidentally.
It's the second time.
I know. I'm not trying to, but
I know.
Well,
All right. So,
to be honest with you, I'm more of anything just very disappointed, because when I first saw the skin, I automatically fell in love with it.
I love the skin.
It's a fantastic skin. I think, you know what I mean? Like, I think honestly it could be a red. I honestly believe this should
Oh
be
yeah,
red.
no. I want, once again, what we talked about in the beginning. I think a lot of things in this case were weirdly put at their ranks.
Yeah, most definitely. And it's just like, I don't have a word for it. Like, I love the skin very much, and it's just very disappointing that it was stolen, especially not from like obviously I still think it's wrong from stolen, but it's stolen from a big artist who is well known, has worked with multiple companies, and it's like, wow, you really did.
Yeah.
Like, I was always wondering how the creator of the op,
And
like, how long did he think it was gonna last?
yeah, it's weird because I guess I'll give the background like I did on the M4. This op is by a guy named Jimba. He has had a couple other skins got in the game. I can only think of one other. It might only be one other, but it was the monkey flage. We'll get into that in a couple of minutes. But the artwork on the skin is completely original. He made that dragon. He drew it. I guess I should say he made the dragon. He drew that dragon. But the design of that dragon character, including a lot of the doodles around it, maybe all of them, but definitely a lot of them, were from a artist named Vex, who's a very, very well-known artist. He's a very famous artist for that kind of doodle style, which he does a lot. He draws a lot of dragons, but this is a character specifically that he has multiple different drawings of, including non-fungible tokens, NFTs of this character, which I think is important to mention, that there is products. Like Vex, the original artist, is making money off of this character. And it is also important to mention Vex is aware of this skin and is planning on taking legal action or trying to do something copyright-wise with this. which is why I personally feel like this skin might get something taken against it. Even if you can say it's completely transformative, doodle art is just a style. The character is stolen. Um, whether the art is new, whether the doodles are different, the character is definitely stolen from somebody else. Um, I don't know if Vex really has a legal case on it. I don't. It depends a lot on copyrights. It depends on a lot of, can this be considered parody? Can this be considered transformative? And I don't know the answers to those questions. It's really hard to say. I guess that's what I'll get at there.
Yep, and you're 100% right, Blue. It's more like and we do have no clue. Maybe he'll even talk to CS:GO, like the devs, and maybe even put his own take on the skin, and that way Jimba does not get any money off the skin. From what I've been told, that could be a possibility that he could take ownership of the skin and then make his own.
Yeah.
Maybe CS:GO will even make a change there. There's just so
Yeah,
many like
I don't know how fast the money gets from Valve to the creators, because it feels like when the case is released, it's a surprise to the people who made the skins. So I imagine it's not an immediate thing. And skin makers do get paid. If anybody watching does not know that, they do get money. I'm not sure of the exact amount, but they make a good penny. It's reasonable for them to keep doing it if they get one skin accepted kind of money. Not like as a full-time job, obviously, but something to keep doing.
Blue's 100% right, and we have no clue. It could be based off the purchases of the skin on the Steam market. It could be purchases like based off keys. It could be based off just everything. We have no clue.
And there's probably people out there who know. Obviously, the creators would know. There's probably other people. I might have just missed it in my research. I'm not sure on that. But what is known is this skin is not 100% original. The idea itself isn't 100% original either. I mean, people have made different versions of the Dragon Lore since the Dragon Lore was invented. So it's hard to say what draws the line here between inspiration and then complete copying. And I think this sails on a narrow river is what this one is to be considered. I will say this was pointed out to me by a skin creator in the community. He has a couple of skins in the game. I'm not going to say his name because he was very adamant he didn't want any publicity out of anything happening. But there is a couple of errors on the skin making wise. The scope is not properly overlaid, so there are some warping issues on that. And I that's the only one I can remember off the top of my head. But that's a little bit of a weird thing to point out on it. Just I don't think that's an issue by any means. It's just something weird that was pointed out to me that I thought was kind of cool even. It's a little quirk.
I didn't even notice either until you mentioned it. It is really weird.
Yeah, it's just a couple spots on it that the texture that was overlaid was not properly made for that section of the skin, which is once again fine. Skin makers are not going to be 100% perfect every single time, so don't put that to the expectations of them. And then I think that is a good place to leave this for now, I guess, because it's hard to say where this whole story here will go with the Doodle lore. I don't imagine they'll be taking out the skin. They might redo it, but the skin is going to stay in the game whether people want it or not. I think we all want it. It's a very nice skin. It's awesome to have pink ops because for so long, like we had the pink DD as the only real pink op. We had things like the Hyper Beam and stuff like that, but we've got the chromatic aberration and then this now, which is very nice to have pink. I'm talking pink color, not pink rarity, by the way. I hate that it's like that.
No,
but it's nice to have that color.
But also another thing is with the case being dropped, actively like every single moment that as we've been speaking, someone could be getting cases. The skin drops even further down in price depending on how the situation goes. And
yeah,
so it's affordable.
Right now, the skin graph for this, the Doodle lore, has become basically a U shape, just based on the fact that it went down because obviously it had been unboxed a lot more. It's not new anymore, but then it went straight back up because people are on that hype train. It's going to be removed from the game. It's going to be the next Howl. It's not. Don't get hyped over that. It's not going to be the next Howl. If you buy any skins from the collection right now, not for crafting, not for keeping forever reasons, you're going to be losing money. I would not recommend doing it right now.
And Blue's 100% right. I know that from experience.
But if you buy one right now, like this second, a Doodle lore, it might not be a bad short-term investment. because I imagine right now this is not the end of the story. I imagine there'll probably be a public legal document released about the lawsuit, and that'll probably spike it quite a bit. Or Vex will make a more official statement, which will also spike it quite a bit. So if you are going to invest, do it right this second. Do not wait till tomorrow. Do not wait till you get your next paycheck. Do it now, or don't do it at all. And I'd also just not recommend doing it, if I'm going to be honest with you. It's not worth it as far as I'm concerned. Too much risk.
Blue is 100% right. And I honestly just like I don't have anything else to say about the album. I'm just like I said, I'm very disappointed. I hope that the artist who or the creator Jimba just realized that he has caused a lot of misfortune to a lot of people, because this is not cool. I don't think it's really right to steal.
And it's a very strange thing because he can very reasonably argue that he didn't steal anything, and that's the unfortunate part about this. Is it's a very hotly contested thing. I've had 3 people now block me because I said that he stole the character design. I'm not going to be blocking anybody over this. I'm not worried about it. I have no finances in it, but it's very hotly contested whether this should be considered stealing, and I definitely think there was theft in design. But I do also want to respect Jimba. That is a very cool looking skin that he did technically draw himself. So shout out to him. If he would think of his own ideas, he would be an amazing artist. And now, speaking of his own ideas, T-Rexer on Twitter, he's an awesome guy. He made Frostbite, Calavera, Vineyard, and he's also made a couple of skins. I don't think any of them are in the game yet. They will be. They're amazing. So I do think they will be eventually. But he did point out that his skin Monkeyflage, Jimba, that is Jimba skin Monkeyflage, which is in the game. It is a Mac 10, I believe, right?
Yes, it is Mac 10. I have to go find it though. I had it not too long ago.
The style of that skin is exactly taken from a piece called it's a different language. Letizia di Mango. Mango, I don't know. I don't speak the language, but it is. If you see it side by side, you know that this skin was made to look like this. Yep. Okay. Investment.
Gotta be ahead.
But and this is even weirder than the Doodle lore to me, because as far as I'm concerned, there's no legal ground for anything here. Even if the original artist, I have no clue if the original artist is dead or alive. I don't know when the piece is from, but I think it's almost as if the guy got designed a skin that looked like Starry Night by Van Gogh. Like, obviously Van Gogh made that original painting. Obviously the original painting is iconic, but anybody can make something in that same style, and it will be completely transformative. And I think it's close to that. It was pointed out by one of my friends on Twitter named Drenlin that one of the leaves does look to be traced. I'm not sure. Looking at them side by side, I do see differences, so I'm not sure if it was traced or not. I think it is important to look at these kind of things. I'm not saying if you see the skin, completely think it's fine, because everything right now should be put under scrutiny from this artist and from a lot of artists in the community right now, because it has been seen that things are happening that should not be happening. So it is important to be putting things under scrutiny. It is important to be looking at things like this. So just be wary of that throughout.
Yes, and another thing that Blue is saying, yes, I do agree we should put those people on, full look. But please do not do this. Please do not send death threats to these artists.
Do not send death threats.
That is really horrible. I don't think anybody should tell someone to kill themselves over a skin.
The thing is
horrible.
If they are dishonest, if these skins were stolen, they will be punished. It is not something for us to punish them, because we have no legal rights over the art, we have no legal rights over CSGO, and we have no legal rights over them as a person. So we can calm down. If you want to call them out, sure, but just keep it as a call out. Don't put it to personal threats or personal attack, because we all have wanted to catch that bag at home.
Blue's 100% right. It's like the same idea, like, with opening cases and stuff like that, we always believe that we will get that one gold or that one knife or gloves that will make us forever rich. The same thing. Yep. I don't blame the creators for what I don't blame them necessarily, but I am very disappointed.
I don't blame them for wanting to. I do blame them for doing it.
Yes.
It's like heroin. We've all wanted to do heroin, but we all choose not to. Hopefully, I'm joking for most of you.
Well,
Not for me.
I guess for our last topic, Blue, I think we should discuss about what should people do in the future, and what do you think the whole, just everything.
It's hard, and there's a lot of ways to look at this. A lot of people have been calling out Valve very heavily for not being involved and not realizing these things, but I think it's hard to completely blame them because none of the skins so far that have been exposed for being quote unquote copies, quote unquote heavily inspired, whatever, have been one-to-one copy. Nothing has so far. So no AI can detect that, and no person can detect that unless they know the original art, or they know which artist to be looking for. And previous to now, neither of the artists had been exposed, or we had any reason to not believe or trust them. So I think, as far as Valve is concerned, there's not much that they could do to prevent this, and I worry that they realize that as much as I do, and they're gonna stop letting us have our community made skins as much, because so far they haven't released a case in so long, and they finally do, and it has this many issues that are completely on the community, and they're not on. Obviously, it's a little bit on them for not realizing, but also it's so hard to realize. And I think it's impressive how quickly our community, our Twitter community, our CS:GO community have realized that. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, "Why aren't you working for Valve?" To all these people who are realizing it, there's so many reasons. First off, the conflict of interest if somebody from the Twitter community were to get a job at Valve to create or to accept skins or to put skins under scrutiny, because there's so much conflict of interest there. We're all friends with each other. We all don't like some people. So it'd be very, very difficult to be fair in anything like that. So that will not be happening, to the dismay of a lot of people. I would bet on that. But I think, as far as detecting these kind of things, that is on us for the most part. It kind of hurts to say, but I don't think Valve really can do much unless they get some painfully smart AI system. And I don't know how AI works, so I don't know how close that is to being a possibility.
And also another thing I want to add on to what Blue said is that we gotta also remember that CS:GO's devs are not as big, and they are very, very, I feel like they're not necessarily short staffed, but you can definitely tell that they're not like other games. Like, I guess I don't really want to pickpocket this as against the thing, because I generally do not like this game as much as I did playing it. It's like Valorant. Valorant's devs, I think there's over 100 devs working for Valorant, so it's like, we compared it to, we don't really know how many devs are working for CS:GO, so we can't always blame that.
Yep.
They have everything on track, and necessarily the whole situation itself,
Yeah.
able to find everything.
And I wish Valve were a little more transparent on a lot of things about cases, because we don't know who necessarily is choosing these skins. We don't know if it's an entire thing. We don't know if they take it to a vote. And I think if we did know those kind of things, it'd be a lot easier to detect these kind of things, as well as it would be a lot more calming to a lot of the skins creators and stuff to know that even if their skin's not in the case, it's being considered and stuff like that. So
Right.
I think I would like more transparency, but I know it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, Blue.
Hey, so Kels, I see you in chat. You can chime in and say whatever you want right this second.
So, you had mentioned about the background of the Mac being all fair game because it's like a painting. Who knows when? Like whatever, it's cool.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the op, we're talking about a character. We're not sure if it's like a direct, exact, like trace copy from someone, but we know it's a copied piece of art. But that's not okay. But what makes the Mac 10 even more okay? Is it just because it's a background, it's not the main focal point? I think it should be kind of fair all the way around, the same energy. I think if one's copied, even if it's a background, it's not cool. Even if it's from an artist that's lived thousands of years ago.
Yeah. No, I 100% know what you mean, and I 100% agree with you. I don't think it's cool. The thing with stuff like that, and it is a background. The animals on the thing were changed. The colors were mixed up a little bit, but I think the number one thing people are forgetting with these kind of things is credit. if this guy credited Vex for the idea behind the dragon, I think we'd be in a much better place. If he credited the original painter, I think we'd be in a great place. Because the thing right now is he is stealing pieces of art. He is not being completely transformative. He is not, you know, placing these into the workshop as a idea that these are not completely his idea. And I think if he was putting these out there as a, hey, this was inspired by this artist, this was inspired by this artist, I think it would all be fair game. It's just the dishonesty that's an issue. And I do
Oh
think
no,
the
I
back end is an
completely
issue.
agree. Like, I think even with also going back to the M4, I think that even though this guy doesn't draw in this type of style and he made the art like on physical paper, I think the least he could have done is credit the artist to his inspiration. Like, I
There are
think,
bases for a reason for art. Like for anime characters, there's
yeah.
bases, but you credit
And
the
I
base
mean, like,
maker.
all art's already been done. Everything's based on inspiration. Everything's already been created. I think at the end of the day, if you're gonna copy someone, you need to at least like add them like to your like work, like put their name out there instead of taking all the work for yourself. I think that's wrong.
Yeah, and I think I'm glad that you said all this because it points out an, kind of a, I guess, a loophole in what I said that is not 100% what I meant by it. I used the example of somebody making a Starry Night themed skin, and how that wouldn't be like a much of an issue at all. And that's because people know, looking at something that looks like Starry Night, that's Starry Night by Van Gogh. But something like the Monkey Flage, people don't know that original artist. People have never seen that original art before. So there's no way to immediately credit them just by looking at it. But like something, if he were to do a Salvador Dali painting and make it into like a skin that's the CS:GO themed, like you could look at it and be like, yeah, that's a Salvador Dali painting. That's really cool. But something like this one, which obviously I don't even know the creator of the painting, the one for the monkey flash. I probably should have researched that a little bit more, but we don't know them, so there's no credit that's able to be given by looking at it. And I think that's once again a big part of where the issue lies with the dishonest. It's it's just we as the people looking at the art should be very able to see what's going on with it, I guess.
Yeah, and like I agree, like if he were to make like the op from like a less well-known artist, like for example the Mac 10, he would have just flew underneath the radar again and would have
Hmm.
never been called out. And I don't think that's fair, personally.
No, it's not at all. I think skin creators, if there's any skin creators watching this, if there's anybody hearing this, or if there's just anybody who can take this advice in other parts of their life, you can be inspired. You can see things and like it and want to replicate it. It's just credit that really matters. And it's also obviously some artists, even if you do some credit them everything, they'll be upset. So usually it's nice to ask for permission, but a lot of the times credit is what matters because art is a very competitive field. There's a reason that there is the phrase starving artist. It's because there's millions of artists, but only hundreds of thousands of jobs for artists. So it's hard. And I think the more dishonesty in that field, the harder it is for new artists as well as every artist. So I think honesty, credit, and just helping each other out is a lot more of what we need within the skins community and art as a whole.
Well, like, and also on top of that, I mean, me and Johnson talked about this, about how this might make it difficult for like newer artists, people who like are really incredible artists to even get their name out
Hmm.
there, to even get in a case, to even make a skin. It's very like discouraging to those people who want to do
Yeah.
it but don't know where to start.
Yeah, and Moonfighter, who's a skin creator, he's got a bunch of skins of the game that you'd know. He said something about that too, about the situation. That it just it's very hard to get into CS:GO as a skin maker. He spent years before he got his first skin, and this does make it much harder for people to get in because if the famous artists, the one who have multiple skins in, are under the scrutiny, the little artists who haven't got anything in, they don't even get the respect of being under that scrutiny. They're just going to get ignored, and that's terrible. I think us as a community of the skins Twitter, it's just CS:GO as a whole, we need to be supporting the new people, but we need to keep everybody under that scrutiny. It's hard. It's a really weird balance we have to find with everything right now.
Yep, and Blue and Kelly, you guys are 100% right. I agree, and it kind of sucks because like as even my girlfriend Kelly, she has also tried to make she does drawing a lot, so you know, when it gives someone like the idea, hey, I want to make skins, you don't want to be discouraged. You want to be able to, you know, make a skin and get upvotes, or even have one of the bigger content creators take a look at it and be like, wow, that's an amazing skin. It, you know what I mean? We don't want to give up on that. And
Yeah,
it's
and
just
it's a
sad.
dream for a lot of people, and it's very sad to see that that dream is being pushed further by just a couple of very, very poor behavior, or I guess dishonest behaviors. It's hard to really categorize how bad all of this is without knowing the extent of the legality. All right, so I think we have hit all of our subjects. I'm just gonna open chat up if they want to have any questions before we get through our closing remarks, I guess. So any questions from chat, anything like that? I guess they'll come through as we continue talking here for a second. Any questions from you, Kels, or Johnson?
The only thing I had to ask was, what do you think about the situation about the Mac 10? Because technically, it's not. Isn't I will say right now, it's not stolen, but there's a lot of great inspiration to it. Like from the
Yeah.
just if you can tell from just the eyes, they are from an anime, from a character from an anime. It's not. It does not look like her at all. This is a completely like. This is definitely drawn by the whoever the.
Yeah, like
This
the
Mac
only
10?
resemblance is
Yeah.
the eyes
The
from the
eyes,
other
Yeah.
yes.
character, and still the eyes aren't like 100% because the
Yeah,
character
I
that he's
think
talking about
anime
has one eye.
is a very distinctive style, but even within that distinction, there's a lot of similarity between a lot of styles.
Yeah.
So I think that's a weird gray area where I don't think the artist who made this skin copied anything purposefully at all. And even if they did, it is beyond transformative. It's a completely different piece. But I think anime is much too similar to other anime styles to where it's hard to tell sometimes.
And like in my opinion with the anime style, like as terrible as this sounds, all the females to some degree are very, very similar. All the males to some degree are very, very similar.
Yep,
The
a lot of
only
the
like
differentiation is in
yeah.
hair.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing you can really change is hair and eye color. But at the end of the day, it's the same base, the same body, and everything.
Yeah. And
And that
it's
comes from
just
someone
a
who
lot more.
draws in that art style. Like on like as a hobby.
Yeah. So yeah, it's it's weird. I guess is the way I could put that one. But anime's hard. I think anime on skins is going to be something we see a lot of, and I think every time we see anime on skins, there's going to be something like the chat about the M4A4 stuff like that because it's just hard to find that true balance. That skin will always make me laugh. The insomnia.
Yeah.
Um, I think that is crazy that that is a blue, and I think that should be a staple in every single person's inventory because of it.
Yeah, most 100% agree. It's a very, very, very well developed skin. I'm just happy the
It's
person
amazing.
even got to get into the game though. That's
Yeah, imagine posting a skin like that and then Valve hitting you with that you made it in the game. I don't think whoever made that skin really believed it. It's not something I'd really look at it.
That also brings it to. Oh, sorry, don't want to cut you off. But that
We
also,
had a question from chat too.
oh,
So.
we do? No, go ahead. That's awesome.
What do you guys think of the R rate in the new case? We did talk about that a little earlier. We love it. It's awesome. It is super craftable for some reason. Like there's so many crafts you can do on it, and it's something that a bunch of people have been saying forever that it's the banana gun because it looks like a banana, and now it really can be the banana gun.
Wow,
I think it's awesome.
even has a barcode on it. I didn't even notice that.
It's so
It even
detailed
has
too.
those like little stickers that bananas have on them.
That's amazing.
It's so cool. So much props to the creator of that skin. And I don't know how it wears. I think it just kind of like gets darker and it kind of looks like I think like parts of it wear off, but it looks like it's just rotting, which is
Ooh,
also really
I
cool.
wish-
I think that's how it is. I saw a more worn one and it looked like that to me, and I assume it's purposeful just because.
Ooh, I wish you had done it based off float then. If the higher the float, the darker the banana gets.
I think that is how it is kind of.
Because the one I have, the one I have right now is factory new in my hands.
Try to check out like a well worn. Can you do that?
Yeah, most definitely. can go find it.
Just because battle scars are probably going to just be a bunch of paint worn off regardless, but a well worn is going to show that good wear, I guess, would be the best way to put that.
Oh, wow, you're right, yeah.
Yep, you get that pirate hat. All right. So I was kind of mistaken, but at the same time, it does look like a more old banana, even if it is just kind of the chipping. They do get black like that.
100%.
I think like a bad field tested could look really cool like that. Jeez. And then like the middle part gets rustier though, right? Or am I tripping?
Kinda, yeah, a little bit rustier.
Yeah. Such a nice skin.
I love that says CS:GO on it. That's amazing. Just
the details.
Yeah, perfect. Makes me want
the details are awesome.
Might have to start using the R8 because of this now.
I saw a video a couple days ago of like an R8 kill montage, and it was actually cool what people do with that gun.
Oh wow, it just sucks how. I remember I was there too when I was just a kid using the R8 back then, when it was like a one-shot kill. Oh man, that was wild.
Right.
The only thing left I have to say was that I think that. Sorry about that.
Sheesh.
Was that I think this SG could have been ranked higher. On a realistic note, I think it's
the Illuminati one.
Yes. Very, very. I think it's also a very toxic skin. But like
I think that's back to my point. Yeah, they're just
right back to your point. Yeah.
The ratings are weird, but really good. It's normally we get purples that suck, but now we're getting blues that are amazing. So I prefer it this way.
Yep.
Valve, keep up that. Right. Well, that's what I was saying. The P2K, bro, is not in the right rank. Guy said it in chat that the P2K should be the purple and the SG be pink. I completely agree with that. I think that's weird. But yeah, weird rankings on these. It's awesome though. All right. So closing remarks. I would not recommend investing in either of the skins. I don't think much will happen with the M4. I don't think anything will happen with the M4. And the Doodle lore, it all depends on how far Vex goes. How are you feeling about it all, Johnson?
Same thing. I'm just more concerned about because I'm just more concerned if Vex will go really far and be really upset into the whole situation. I'm hoping that Valve, because like I said, it's the weekend right now, so Valve won't be able to do anything. So probably, and then we're not even sure how Monday will even go. Maybe they'll, because like I said, like we've already had an issue where I don't know if you knew about this, Blue, but the CS, the 10-year anniversary stickers were off the charts. We're like off the buy orders or like the store, so people were buying them, trying to raise the prices. And it was crazy.
I did not know about that.
Oh, you didn't know? Oh man, it was crazy. Like we're talking about like people were buying like a lot of them because they accidentally took it out. So like I said, it's definitely. I just hope CS:GO takes their time. That's about it, really, to make this right. That way,
I think they will. I have faith in Valve.
I guess the only other thing that I have left to say is just more like, if you are an artist or a person who wants to make skins, I feel like don't stop. Keep going at it. One day, like I said, as Blue said, there was a creator who didn't get a skin until years later on. There's no point in giving up, knowing that you never know if you'll get picked or not.
Right. Well, I think we're gonna end it here. I thank you guys all for stopping by and coming and joining us for our inaugural podcast here. We're probably the VOD will probably stay up for you guys to watch again if you'd like. Listen to it in the background, send it to your friends, please. Maybe we'll post it on YouTube. I think we'll try at the very least if we can. Yes. And if you guys have any ideas for a name for